Hi guys, it's Dawn from Creative Appliques. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, please consider subscribing and also hit the bell so you're informed when I upload new videos. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and joining me today. We have a new mask for you today and I'm super excited about this one. This one has a window. It has a place for a nose wire, and it has the slots on the side here to put adjustable elastics or ties that can be replaced and changed out. And it also has a place to cover the chin. This is the large size. And it is all done in one hooping. Okay? So let's get started with what we need. So the supplies we're going to need. You're going to want to print out your pattern. You're going to want some fabric. Quilting fabric is great. Okay? You're going to want some clear vinyl for the front of the mask, some scissors, some pinking shears if you have pinking shears, a seam ripper. These are some hemostat forceps that are great for getting the elastic through the side slots. You're going to want to have something for the nose wire channel. Elastic, either 2 pieces or one long piece, depending on if you're doing it around the ears or around the neck. Some tape, painter's tape works great. And then your hooped with some tearaway stabilizer or some Solvay, water soluble stabilizer, and then an iron. One thing I do want to talk about as far as supplies is concerned is the type of vinyl that you're going to use. So this is a heavier gauge vinyl that I use, and it provides some structure inside the mask, and it will give it a nice ability for it to curve out. If you use a vinyl that is very flimsy and not very sturdy, it's not going to provide a lot of stability to the mask. So I would encourage you. This is the the flimsy thin vinyl that I bought in a pack that's like a medium weight. And it, like I said, it's very thin, it's very flimsy, it doesn't give a lot of stability. If you get a sturdier one, then it's going to provide more structure to the mask and have the ability to curve out. So Joanne has a lot of different vinyls on rolls. So I would encourage you to go with a heavier gauge, anywhere from 12, I think they've got 16, up to 20. So I would get a few pieces and see which you like better, but that's something to consider to help with the stability and structure of the mask. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take piece A and piece B, and we're going to take our pattern and we are going to trace it on the wrong side. So piece A and piece B are, this is the part that's going to be closest to the face, and this is the part that's going to be the front outside of the mask. So I'm going to put the right sides together, and I'm going to pin pin them out of the way, just for right now. And I'm going to take the pattern piece and line it up. Now, if you're going to be making a lot of these, it would be good to make this in like cardstock or cardboard, something that's a little stronger. Anyway, I'm just going to trace here. Okay, and now when you cut out the center of the pattern, it tells you to cut on the blue line for the fabric. So essentially you're going to cut from corner to corner. So when this is cut out, so you know what size the square is or the rectangle, you could just take a ruler and connect the lines like that. So now that we've traced the rectangle and the corners, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to cut across the blue line there from corner to corner. So I'm just going to fold it in half like this, and making sure that the corners meet up. That's an easy way to do it, is to make sure that the corners are meeting up like that for the rectangle that you traced, just by sticking a pin in it. Okay, so now I'm going to cut along these lines. So now that we've cut opened, we're going to press it. So this is piece B, and we're going to put right side down, and we are going to press them all open. So you're going to have a rectangle here in the center. And now we'll do the same thing with piece A. Right side down. So now for piece C, we will take it right side down and press it in half. Piece D is the same thing. Right side down. So this is the width, this is how wide it is, and this is the height of the piece. piece E is the vinyl, so we don't do anything with this because we've cut it, and we don't need to prep that in any way. So now for piece, the two side pieces, F. Right sides down, so this is the height and this is the width, so we're going to fold it in half height-wise and press right side down, so pressing wrong sides together. I will show you how I do one piece, and then we'll do the other piece. So height-wise here, width, fold it in half. Now open that up and fold that in half to meet at where the press was. Open that up and fold the raw edge to the fold that you just made. Raw edge to the fold. Now take these two raw edges from the width and fold it in half. So it's important to get the height of the finished size that you need for the mask that you're making, and that is all in the written instructions. And so one thing I like to do to just kind of hold it together in place until I'm going to use it is just take these little clips. This is not necessary, it's just a little extra step that I like to do. So let's go through this again. So width, height, okay? Fold it in half, right sides out, wrong sides together. Unfold, fold it, the raw edges up to meet. Press. Again, open and raw edge to that press or that fold. So like this. And now we fold it in half. Fold the width in half. Oops. And press. Okay, so we've hooped the tearaway stabilizer and loaded the design to the machine, and now we're ready to stitch. So we're going to stitch the placement line. Okay, so we're going to take piece C, and this is the fold that we have for piece C, and we're going to bump it up against this line. Now this line is not as wide as the piece is, but just kind of put it in, just center it along this line, okay? And now we're going to unfold it. So the fold is on the line here, and then we are going to unfold it. And we're going to tape it in one spot, and now we're going to stitch the buttonhole. So now we're going to fold it back down, still staying on this line, and tape it. Out of the way. And now we're going to sew the nose wire channel. Now we're going to remove this piece from the hoop. So one of the things that I find really easy to do is just to use a seam ripper here and go very close to the stitching without cutting the fabric and just removing it. If you want, you can simply use scissors, or you can tear it out if you want. It will easily tear. I like to use the seam ripper because I can just remove it, because this way now we do not have to rehoop it. And we can start now sewing the tack down for the rest of the mask. So there's the back side that we removed, and just simply tear away the rest of the stabilizer and put this aside until we need it next. And this, you can just cut off this because that was the placement line. Okay, so now we're going to take piece B and we're going to put it right side down. So let's go over this. This here, this larger rectangle is for the window. So piece A and piece B deal with that. So don't worry about this smaller rectangle here right now. Okay, so piece B will get put right side down, and you want to make sure that window fits within that stitching. So I'm just going to tape this right here for right now. And then we're going to take piece E, which is the vinyl. Okay. So we have piece E, and I put this blue tape here so you can see that it's the vinyl. Anyway, so we'll put that to cover the the opening of the window. So this is piece E, and it helps to tape it down so that it doesn't move when you put piece A on top of it. So piece B, right side down, piece E, which is the vinyl, and now piece A, right side up on top of the vinyl and fitting within the window, the rectangle. Okay, and so then you tape it all down, and it's next we're going to stitch the rectangle to hold the vinyl in, and the front and the back together, and then the outline of the mask. Okay, so now I'm going to remove the tape. And I'm going to now place the sides. So these are the F pieces. Okay, so now we're going to put the F pieces down, the side pieces. And what you want to do is you want to line them up. So we have the pieces that we've already prepped with the folds down. This is the height, okay? The height is going to go this way. All right. And so we have the fold. So the fold here, this fold, is going to meet up on this line here. And it's going to go between this corner and this corner, okay? So this fold here is going to go on this line here, and this here needs to fit between these two corners, okay? And then tape it down. Oops, see, it shifted. Okay. You could also tape the front of it as well if you want. All right, so now I will do the other side and show you. So the fold is going to go towards the center. The fold is going to go on this line, and the raw edges are going to be out past this stitching, and it is going to fit between the two corners, this corner and this corner. Fold here between the two corners, raw edges with raw edges. And now we'll stitch it down. Okay, so now we have piece C. All right. This is the one where we sewed the buttonhole on it. So we're going to take that, so this is the fold that we had, and here's the buttonhole. Okay, and we are going to take it and place the fold against these corners here, the corners of the mask, okay? So place it there, where those corners are, and now tape the fold down. Okay, so that is the piece C. The fold is up the top here. Tape's not letting this stick. And now we're going to fold it again. We're going to fold it up along this line here from the inside triangle. So we fold right there, and we'll tape it down on the sides. And to hold it, I also like to do one tape in the center here. And you could wrap the tape around the bottom if you want. Okay. And now we'll stitch that down. So now we take the D piece, and we are going to, we have the fold, okay, and we're going to do essentially the same thing we did for piece C, but we're going to reverse it. So we're going to place the fold even with the corners here, this corner and this corner from the mask, okay, not from the side slots, the mask. So where the mask has the corners right there. All right, so the fold goes right there, and then we tape that down. And now we're going to take it and fold it And you see this line in here, the lower line, that is the line where you fold it back from. And we'll tape it down on the sides. And I like to do one in the center to keep it held. And we'll stitch that down. So for the next two steps, number 9 and number 10, you essentially could have let the machine just continue to run because the next step is the triple stitch to secure all the pieces together really well, and then it's a zigzag stitch to keep the material all together. So you could have essentially just kept the machine going, but I have color stops in there in case for some reason someone wants to change colors of thread or to stop the machine. So the next two, step 9 and step 10, are going to stitch now. Okay, so now we're going to remove it from the stabilizer. And we're going to tear away all the stabilizer. So now that we've removed the stabilizer, we're going to trim around the stitching. I like to use pinking shears to keep the material from fraying, but you can use regular scissors if you wish. I put the zigzag stitching in there just so that it does help keep the fabric from fraying. And the sides is a bit tricky to get through because there are lots of layers there with the folds of the sides, and depending on how big you cut your vinyl, the vinyl as well, and then the multiple pieces of the chin and the nose part. All right, so now we have it all trimmed up, and I am going to also trim the corners. I like to trim off the corners as well to help it lay better. Okay, now we're going to turn it. Push the corners out. Okay. So I have the vinyl inside the stitching here, so I don't want to press it. This vinyl will probably be okay with an iron. It probably won't melt, but I just don't feel extremely confident doing that. So now we're going to feed the wire through the nose channel here. Sorry about that. Feed the wire through the nose channel and then the elastics. So one thing that you could have done when it was on the hoop and right after you sewed the buttonhole is you could have opened that up there while it was still on the machine, which would be easier than right now. But you want to make sure that you only cut through the one layer of fabric, since we want it to not go through this side. So we open that up. Okay, so now that it is opened up, you can slide in your nose wire, your pipe cleaner, whatever you're using for your nose wire. These that I'm using are file folder fasteners, and I really like them because they're a nice strong metal. Okay, so there is now your wire in your channel for your nose right there. And now we will put the elastic through. I like to use the hemostat forceps, and we go through the side channel there, hook up on that and pull it through. So I'm using one long piece. To go around the back of the neck, and so I like to tie it so it goes around the ears and around the back of the neck, and so I'll explain this to you. So this is the part, this is one long piece, okay? So we're gonna take this and wrap it around. Okay, so this is the long piece here in my right hand, and in my left hand is the shorter piece, and I'm going to loop it around like that, and it makes it adjustable. Okay. And then I just like to take this loose, the end, and do it one more time, like that. All right, let's do this again. So, I flipped it over just because it's easier for me with my left hand, and so this is the long piece here. Take the shorter piece. This might be backwards for you if you're right-handed. Go underneath the long piece, bring it over, go under the short piece, the little piece, and through. Okay? And it makes it slidable, adjustable. And because that's only essentially just, you know, one loop through, I like to do it, take the end piece and do it again, so that it's now that way. So it is now adjustable. If you pull on the right part. So I wanted to just show you why I tied it that way, so that there's the loops on the sides and then the big long piece here. So when I put it over my head, I can hang it from my neck. But then, you know, if I'm sitting in my car driving from store to store, place to place, and then I need to get out of my car, or I'm doing a pickup, curbside pickup, whatever, I can put this over my ears. And then I have it around my neck. So if I'm in an outdoor mall and I go from one store to another store, but I'm walking outside, I can have it hanging around my neck until I get to the place that I need to put it on. Just like that, very easy. So it's a combination of both around the ears and around the neck. So if it was just around the ears, you would have to constantly be taking it on and off and finding it and putting it back on. So that's a little trick for you. Thanks for joining me today, guys. I hope you found this video helpful and you enjoyed it. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and also click the bell so that you're notified when I upload new videos. We would love it if you would share your stitch outs with us on social media. You can find us on Instagram at Creative Appliques, Pinterest at Creative Appliques, and Facebook, Creative Appliques. We also have a Facebook group that we share inspiration and designs and all of our wonderful projects. So hope to see you there. Thanks, and make your life creative.